Hey everybody, welcome back to Walking by Faith with Faith. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching this video and sharing the videos and subscribing to the channel. I appreciate it. And if you're new to this channel is about growing your faith and trust in God. And I hope these videos encourage you guys. So today's testimony is from within the last week. And last Wednesday, God had told me where He wanted me to give my tithe. Now, if you're not familiar with tithing is a biblical principle, and it's found in Malachi chapter 3, verse 10. And basically what it is where we give back to God 10% of all of our income that we get, and or whatever God lays on your heart to give. Now, typically, you tithe to the church you attend. Sometimes God will have you give your tithe to an organization. Sometimes He might tell you to give it to a specific person. It just depends on, where He tells you to give it. So God had given me instructions. And so last Friday, I told this person, hey, God told me to give you my tithe. And so I gave it to them. They said, thank you. And guys, here's the testimony part. The very next day, in less than 24 hours, God had brought back the tithe money that He told me to give to this person. And so it was just so amazing, because I was just like, oh my goodness, that was less than a day that He told me to give this, and now He's bringing it back to me. And so it's definitely a mindset change when you live by giving and receiving, and or another way to say that is by sowing and reaping. And it truly will change your life when you renew your mindset to this. And this is how God's kingdom works. There's examples all throughout the Bible about living by giving and receiving. So I hope that encourages you. And if God did it for me, He'll do it for you. Now listen, obeying God is important, and obedience equals blessings. Now I want to add to that though. Obeying God isn't necessarily always easy. It's simple, it's straightforward, but sometimes when we obey God, it doesn't look like what we thought it was going to look like. And something that I've been learning over the last few years is, just because you obey God, it doesn't mean that everything is going to be easy. Now, God gives you grace. So let's give an example where it's not necessarily, about, giving, tithing to wherever He tells you to tithe. Let's say the step of obedience is to move to a new place, or to go into a field that you didn't go to school for. Now, obeying God, like I said, is simple, but it doesn't mean that everything is going to go perfectly okay. And God tells us, Jesus says, hey, look, you're going to have trials and tribulations in this world, but take heart, because I've overcome the world. And you're going to receive blessings for obeying God. I also just want to make it clear, though, that it doesn't mean that every day is going to be a piece of cake, okay? But it's totally worth it. So don't let fear stop you from obeying what God is telling you to do, because you will receive blessings for that here and when you get to heaven. I hope this testimony encourages you guys. Remember that God loves you more than anyone can and or ever will, and He wants to be your friend. Remember that God is not just in the big decisions in life, He's also in the little details. Remember to engage and exercise your faith in God, and watch how He shows up and shows out in your life. And remember that your life is a platform, and how you choose to live every day matters. And lastly, the song suggestion for today is called By Faith, and it's by Seventh Time Down. And instead of an S at the beginning of seventh, it's actually the number 7. So I hope this encourages you guys, and I'll see you soon.